we are talking some wrestling. Yes, the beard is gone. Pour one out for the beard. Charlie, this is a new era of wrestling. This was listed as a season premiere. I think it's kind of funny how sometimes they'll do this like once a year, but sometimes they just don't even mention it because Raw has been it's been on every week for so long that there aren't really series. It's obviously a giant continuation, but we had the quote unquote series premiere of Raw tonight, and we ended up pulling out some of the stops. Aaron is in chat. Hello, Aaron. So
what's up, Aaron?
Regardless, if you are normally watching us for our Big Brother content, which has been more of our regular stuff going on, even if you're not that interested in WWE, just to familiarize yourself with the product, even if you don't watch WWE, we generally look, I mean, I can't speak for you, Charlie, but I look at WWE as more of a TV show, critiquing it the same way that I would a TV show, a movie, a produced content rather than a sport. And a lot of people look at it as a sport. I do not see it that way. It is predetermined, TV. It is scripted, just more athletic. I look at it kind of like a prepared dance and TV show kind of put together. How do you view wrestling as a whole?
I don't know. It's just got a special place in my head for professional wrestling, and it's kind of all of it in between. But I can tell you right now, they're doing some cool stuff, and they're doing stuff that's hitting a broader audience that's not just the hardcore fans, and that's showing the Fiend mask. And we'll talk about it tonight. I mean,
I want to start with that. So
let's do it.
So talking about some mainstream stuff, because this isn't even episode. It's just we've seen, obviously, everyone knows that Fox ended up shelling out, I think it was $1 billion over 10 years or something like that. For SmackDown to have SmackDown on Friday nights. And for those that aren't familiar with the WWE product, Monday Night Raw has been what we would call a show, the top show for WWE for years and years. And SmackDown has always kind of played second fiddle, and they've moved SmackDown from Friday night to Thursday night, back to Friday night, back to Thursday night. Now it's been back on Fridays for a little while, and they started doing it live. It used to be taped on Thursdays. When I was growing up, it was a taped Thursday show. They would tape it on Tuesdays and air it on Thursday. But now Fox has made it clear that they're spending a bunch of money, and they want to have their own people, their own guys and girls on their shows. And so WWE is moving to this draft, which we'll talk about later. But Fox has let it be known that they like the theatrics of things. And this character that Bray Wyatt has developed recently over the past couple months is very refreshing. And what's cool is that Fox, not only the large Fox, but FS1 and the local Fox affiliates are showcasing SmackDown and really hyping up this debut of SmackDown on Fox. And it started with WWE commercials, and then they started doing WWE commercials, and this new character that Bray Wyatt has developed, seemingly himself, the Fiend, it will flash with that creepy mask after the wrestling commercials. And it's even now shifted. There are clips people posting on Twitter, Charlie, of morning news channels.
And after the football game last night, and just the middle of the game. Yeah,
middle of a game. Just, Channel 2 news, after the game, tune in for your nightly news. And then Bray Wyatt's just, it says nothing about WWE, it says nothing about Bray Wyatt. It just pops up with a creepy Bray Wyatt mask. And it's getting people buzzing, just wanting to know what it is. And people that have no idea what WWE even is are searching Twitter for creepy mask on the commercials.
Yep. What was that clown mask? What the hell?
It's bringing eyes to it. It's genius, right?
And I honestly say, if people tuned in tonight for the first time, they're like, what is this? I need to see it. I think they left satisfied. I really do. Tonight was fun for Bray Wyatt. And they know that because they built the whole show around him. The whole show is being built around Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not even champion.
And they even mentioned him like 3 or 4 separate times. Jerry Lawler mentioning the Fiend, like when Bobby Lashley came out near the end. And we'll get to that. Like when Bobby Lashley came out and they were like, who's he signaling for? And Jerry Lawler's like, oh my God, I hope it's not the Fiend. Like little things like that are really, really cool.
Even the Street Profits, like Montez is telling Angelo, like, don't say his name 3 times.
Yeah.
They're inserting him into everything. and it's getting people happy, and they're more interested in everything else.
It's the right way to go about Bray Wyatt. Make him more of an idea than an actual wrestler, because Bray Wyatt, as far as in-ring work, is solid, but he's not going to be a workhorse, wrestle every single night. He should pop in, pop out, be creepy, do exactly what they did at the end of the show. That's exactly what Bray Wyatt should be. So you know what, Charlie? Let's start at the end. So
do it.
So pre Bray Wyatt, we had this match between Seth Rollins and Rusev. Rusev, the newly returning Rusev, and a lot of people have been asking, where's Lana? Because
they asked him in the interview. Charlie Caruso asked him in the interview tonight.
Yep. Screw you, cat. So it's like, where's Lana? Where's Lana? And what were the announcers saying, that it's rumored that Lana and Rusev have been like splitting or whatever? Now, in real life, we know that's not the case. We know that they're still married. It seems like they're very happy together. But in storyline, in kayfabe, as they call it in the business, it's been like, oh, Rusev and Lana are going through like a tough time. They're not sure, don't know if it's a divorce or whatever. And this led Rusev and Seth had their match. After the match, or was it after the match or middle of the match where you got
kind of the middle of the match? When Lashley came out. Yeah,
it got interrupted by Bobby Lashley, who we haven't seen for, I'd say, probably 3 months, which it makes sense. These guys that are still on the roster, WWE is going to have to start slowly inserting, because if you want to make the case that Bobby Lashley should be drafted in this draft next week, he has to be on TV leading up to it. Yep. So Lashley comes out and signals for Lana to come out, right? It's like, okay, cool. They're going to go with this. Lana and Rusev are involved in a storyline, but they don't have to be together because they're trying to build Rusev as a bit of a babyface. Aaron, I appreciate that. Aaron says, even though I had no idea what you're talking about, I could listen to you guys all day. Thank you. I appreciate that. So anyway, Aaron, and honestly, I would like us to kind of introduce you to it a little bit. So Lana and Rusev are two characters on the TV that came up together through what they call the Indies NXT, basically the farm system for WWE, and ended up falling in love in real life, and they are married in real life. And so they've always been, he's the wrestler, she's the manager, and she wrestles as well, but not as intensely as he does. So they've always been paired together, and then they've been off TV for a little while. And so Lana comes out with this other guy, Bobby Lashley. This was genius in my opinion, Charlie. They had them just like hug at first to be like, in my mind, I was like, all right, this is going to be lame, isn't it?
Dude, I'm with you.
So like they just hugged and I was like, oh, Jesus, this is going to be cringy. And then out of nowhere, they pull back in and start making out on the ramp with Lana's actual husband, Rusev, who are in a real life, like, happy marriage. And they're making out for a solid 30 seconds.
I mean, Bobby Lashley's grabbing the cheeks and everything.
Yeah, man. Like Lashley's like rubbing up on her leg. She's like putting tongue into it. Dude, it was crazy, crazy stuff. I mean, all I got to say is, Charlie, Vince McMahon didn't write the show, did he?
Nope.
This seemed like a Paul Heyman thing, and now I am not a wrestling journalist. This podcast is not one where we're going to provide a bunch of insight into backstage reports. This is just two guys giving their opinion that like wrestling. So, Charlie, and then they had Rusev kind of just standing there dumbfounded. So it seems like either they're going with Rusev just doesn't know what to do, like Bobby Lashley is going to emasculate him, which I hope that is not the case, or they might go with the Lana's a whore and Rusev is realizing it. I mean, which way would you rather them go?
I think they'll I hope this ends up being where Rusev is, booked as a strong ass dude at the end of the day, looking like a badass, right?
I mean, I hope so. Like,
and this kind of, yeah. Okay, so this all's happening, yeah. And then the lights hit, and we're like, yeah. When these lights hit now, it is probably one of the biggest pops of the night.
Yep.
It always is. People are
waiting for Bray Wyatt now. It's very indicative of when people start talking about Undertaker back in the day. That's what Bray Wyatt should be. People should beg for it. And everyone, that's the thing too, is with this Fiend character, everybody knew that this show was going to close with the Fiend coming out and attacking Seth Rollins.
So did the thought go through your head that he might go get Rusev instead?
Maybe.
I thought Rusev was going to have the ultimate bad night. His wife's up on the stage with another man,
and then he gets
jacked, masculine, beautiful man, and he's standing there.
The Fiend just wrecks him.
He just ends him. It's over.
Okay, here's the question. So the Fiend attacks Seth Rollins. Where was he attacking him? Was that like on the ramp? He was leaning up against the wall.
Outside of the thing. It was kind of like by where the timekeeper area is.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, because he was like up against a wall. So the Fiend comes in, attacks Seth Rollins. It's a very interesting concept where Brock Lesnar is like attacking everybody. Brock Lesnar, I guess, is going against Kofi, but he's also like against everybody. And the Fiend is obviously going against Seth Rollins. So before we get to the Brock stuff, because that's what I want to hit next, which storyline are you more invested in going into?
Oh man, Fiend. Everything about it, I'm all in. They've done it perfectly. It's too good, man. They're doing such a good job with it. It's scary, and I think the potential is endless with this. I mean, this is the character that's going to bring in new fans. This is everything about it. This is what's going to bring new eyes to the product.
People that have been looking for something edgier. People just want something that they can tune in and it's cool again. That's all. That's honestly what it boils down to.
And
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was saying I hope he does something Friday.
Oh, I think he will. I think he's going to be on stuff, and I think it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see where he gets picked in this draft. So wrestling, going back to it, wrestling when I was growing up was getting to the tail end of this, but I don't know. So like early 2000s, late 90s, wrestling was cool. If you were a college age student, mid-teens to mid-20s, wrestling was seen as the cool thing. When you'd go to your universities, generally guys, some girls, but generally just the guys on a Monday night, they were all sitting around the TV watching Stone Cold and The Rock and Triple H and Chris Jericho and Big Show and Kane and Undertaker and I don't know, name all the people, Rikishi and Big Boss Man and I don't know, Taz. It was the cool thing for people to want to watch. It hasn't been the cool thing for a while. It's the stigma of people that enjoy watching wrestling have to explain themselves on as to why they watch it. When I tell people that I watch wrestling, I have to tell them I watch it as if it's a TV show like any other, just like I did at the beginning of this podcast. I don't watch it as a sport, but the stigma is that wrestling fans are generally just like 45-year-old dudes that live in their mom's basement and still real to me, damn it.
Yeah, literally.
That's the common wrestling fan. And are those fans still around? Yes, but I think that I don't know. It's indicative that Brock was the number one trend worldwide on Twitter 15 minutes into the show. And it's just so funny that it's still such a popular, like such a highly watched show, even though it's this uncool thing. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So let's get yeah. So Brock Lesnar, hate him or love him, he's a draw. Hey, Icy, welcome. And Icy says, hola. So Brock Lesnar kicks off the show and beats the ever-living shit out of Rey Mysterio and his son.
Man, when he grabbed Dominic out of the chair, I stood up. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
it looked like oh, they're just gonna stare him down. They're not gonna do anything. And you know what, Paul Heyman? He said, "No, man."
Yeah, I loved that. I also loved how basically Brock Lesnar just did what he wanted with Dominic. Like Rey was taking actual bumps. Like Dominic was just allowing Brock Lesnar to just chuck him around. There wasn't really any skill from Dominic. To have the trust of someone like a Brock Lesnar to just chuck you and hope that you're going to be fine. Cause Dominic really just let him throw him around.
Yeah.
Rick said in our Facebook chat, he said, "Hey, what a debut. Just getting your ass beat by Brock Lesnar." If you're Dominic, is this the way you'd want to make your debut?
Immediately, you're in a big program, so can't deny that.
There's no way they have Dominic overcome Brock Lesnar, though, right?
Depends on how good he is, I guess, right?
God, there's no way he's that great.
No, I don't see it happening, but
yeah. So this is all leading up to Brock. This is Brock Lesnar sending a message to Kofi Kingston. Now, this is the big match. It's this Friday, right?
Yep.
The debut of SmackDown Live on Fox. I have seen a lot of people consider this a foregone conclusion that Brock Lesnar is going to win the title because that's who Fox wants the title on. Do you buy into that?
I don't buy that as a foregone conclusion. I definitely think it's Kofi's biggest opponent. And I think this is the most odds. Like, the odds are the highest that he could lose this time. But I don't see it happening. I think they want this Kofi reign to go down in the books. And for him to beat Brock Lesnar puts it down in the books. I mean, it's already in the books. It's already a good title reign. He's been booked like as good of a champion as you could be. But, yeah.
I wanted my head to be the same size as yours. Am I OCD for that?
No.
I think now we're equally zoomed in.
There you go.
Odd. All right. Okay, let's touch on some other things. Let's just talk about all the new aesthetic things. Okay, so
yeah,
new stage. Let's start instead of the stage. Let's start with the commentary. What did you think of the 3-man team? So we had Jerry Lawler. So the quote unquote like A team of commentators is on SmackDown, which is indicative of what they want. You know, the priority of shows.
Pretty much.
So,
we got 205 Live and Jerry Lawler.
Yeah. So will you list those off for people?
Yeah, so we got Vic Joseph doing the play-by-play. So he's your Michael Cole and your Mauro Ranallo. Those are the other play-by-play guys. And then Dio Madden, who has only been doing commentary for 3 weeks on 205 Live. He was the newest guy there. And because Nigel went to do NXT Live. And then you got the King, the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, it seemed to me all night with the commentary, specifically in the matches, that they let Jerry do most of the talking, and maybe that's just he's used to network television, and maybe they just want to lean on him a little bit and ease the other two guys into it. Is that the feel you got, or do you think that did you get impressed by one of the other two guys?
See, Vic Joseph, I've always really liked him because he's really good at calling the moves. That's one of the things I really like about Mauro and why I like Corey. Even though Corey doesn't do the play-by-play, he always calls the moves. Tom Phillips would always go, "Oh!" Michael Cole does the same thing. So Vic Joseph, every time a move happened, he calls it.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite things about him. And I think he's going to be very successful here. So the one I was really looking for was Dio Madden. Because I had watched his first 205 Live. I thought he was all right. But he does add some insight. But I think he's going to grow into a character in front of our eyes,
Hey, Nathan. Welcome.
What do you think of the show, Nathan?
Yeah, Nathan, just overall thoughts, 1 to 10. What do you think of the show? Because we're gonna skip all over. We're not gonna go chronologically with the show and stuff like that. This is.
And then we had the new intro also, Skillet.
Yeah, and it's funny. I will tell you now because I like Skillet. I like their sound. That whole album, trash,
controversial,
trash, garbage.
One of the good brothers that I work with, you know him, Logan. He really loves that album.
I mean, I'll be honest.
He's a big Skillet fan, so who knows?
Well, listen, it's one of those things. Skillet's songs basically all sound the same, and they're all the same. It's always an inspirational kind of like you're not gonna bring me down. Like I'm gonna conquer. I'm gonna conquer the world. Basically, every song is I'm gonna conquer the world, and it's the same kind of chord scheme, stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, I like the song though.
Yeah, dude, you know me. Something if we had been doing the wrestling thing every week, I would have a counter by now. How many weeks have we not had an intro? It's been almost a year for Raw. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Last season of Raw, they didn't do an intro. It feels like it's simple, but it gets me in the mood. Does that make sense?
Yep. No, yeah, and that's something that NXT's been doing well for a while.
And the pyro just kind of ties in with the intro.
Oh yeah, they've needed pyro. Listen, I I just crapped all over them taking pyro and smoke and everything out when they took it away a couple of years ago, because
For sure we're doing the pod then.
Yeah, the report was that they wanted to save some money because they were. I mean, listen, the WWE is not in the red at all.
No.
It's not. They're going to make money. And Vince McMahon, I think, was just trying to save some money here and there. That's one less thing to worry about. Look, I totally get it. But the difference between Brock Lesnar coming out, slamming his fist down to nothing, and slamming his fist down to pyro skyrocketing behind him, there's a huge difference. It makes it seem like a bigger show.
Yeah, it does.
Nathan, I love tonight's show. Other than I did miss Michael Cole's commentary. I always thought he was more enthusiastic. My favorite wrestler is Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar is a great draw. I really, really do. And
I'll have Michael Cole and Brock on Friday too, so you'll like that.
Yeah, you will. So, I'm excited. I'm really, really excited for Friday's show. And I am not normally. I've been jaded by wrestling over the past couple of years, but I'm really excited for Friday's show. All right. Let's talk. I thought Becky was out of place on commentary tonight. I was not a fan of her.
It was a little odd, definitely.
It felt forced to me.
I think the best part about Becky tonight was her having the smoke back with her entrance and her holding the belt with the man and the smoke in the background. That looked good.
Yeah, the entrance was good. I don't know. I felt like it took a little too much away from the match.
It did. My favorite thing about the match is the ending. Sasha calling for Bayley even though she's not there, and then kicking Alexa in the shin and pinning her. That was awesome. Perfect. I was into it. I was into the finish. And you know what? It lets Sasha win. I understand. You'll see if you got a lot of you guys, if you watch other podcasts and everything else, you'll know people don't like it when the champs lose, and it's kind of a running joke that the tag team champs always lose. And Alexa lost, but I think Sasha needed to win. You got to keep her. You got to keep her winning, especially with the championship match on Sunday.
I agree. I mean, Sasha had to pick up the win here, and they kind of did it the right way. I don't know. The match itself wasn't that great. I don't know. It just felt Becky to me was forced. But, all right. My favorite match of the night, personally, I don't know why I enjoyed it so much, but Heavy Machinery versus Rude and Ziggler. I don't know. I just thought it was just a really well-paced match. They didn't waste any time. They went straight into it. They, for lack of a better word, they kind of got all their shit in and got out.
Got out. Yeah.
Heavy Machinery looked really strong, but Rude and Ziggler got the win. So I don't think anyone got hurt here. I think that Heavy Machinery are doing a better job of making the tag team more about them as a team rather than just Otis. Because I think for the long run, if Tucker were to just seem more and more weak as they go along, then people are just going to be begging for an Otis singles run. And I don't think Otis is ready for a singles run.
No.
So I think that them making it less about Otis and more about them as a team is a good decision.
Yeah, agreed. And Otis looked like a star with that tag in, like at the end there. Him hitting the double caterpillar thing was awesome. How you feeling about Rude and Ziggler as a team?
I'm fine with it. I mean, I think people would be crazy to say that Robert Roode isn't one of the best tag team wrestlers of all time. He's fantastic. He understands the ring psychology. I think that if Randy Orton wasn't already working with the Revival, I think that Robert Roode, I think that Roode and Ziggler with the Revival would have been great. I think that Roode, like being with them and training them to be like a super scummy tag team, I think would be fantastic.
Oh, it'd be awesome. Be fun.
Are you feeling them? I mean, I don't know if I feel.
Yeah, I'm with it. I felt like it was really quick, but it doesn't really matter to me. If it's quick and it works, it works.
I don't think I'm feeling them as champs necessarily because they don't feel like a team yet, but neither did Cesaro and Sheamus. It just kind of organically happened, and eventually you just saw them as a team.
It's weird that they're champs.
Yes.
The AOP promos the past couple weeks have been fun.
I mean, they've needed to explain like who the Authors of Pain are.
Last week when they left in the middle of the interview and beat the hell out of people was awesome.
I mean, but listen, if I'm a casual fan, I'm asking, why are they authors? Did they write a book? Like, what did they do? They don't look like people that are writers.
And it's like, yeah, we're the AOP. We're the Book of Pain.
Weird, man. I don't know. I like AOP. I think that they should talk less, to be honest. Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
There was a lot of filler at some points.
Yeah. Charlie, I hate myself for missing this because I love him so much. I missed Firefly Funhouse. Break it down for us.
So, Rambling Rabbit is so scared he dies. And
Rambling Rabbit is done?
Well, he's died like 3 times.
That's true.
So Bray Wyatt says, "Oh, well," and throws him to the side.
Okay.
The other guys are so scared, and he's talking about Hell in a Cell, and there's a beautiful moment when the pigs ask, "What's it like?" And Bray Wyatt's like, "Well, it's like the world without chocolate." And then it pans the pig, and it lets out this comedic scream of, "Ah!" And he's just like scared. It's like a quick zoom in. It's hilarious. Best part of the night. No, best part of that. But no, it kind of just establishes, and then he's like, "Hey man, take it easy on Seth for us." And Bray runs. He's like, "I'll go tell him to take it easy." Then he comes back and he's just laughing, and then he's like, "Let me in." It was pretty good.
I think it's nice how Bray, like he knows the Fiend. Like he's not acting. I don't know. He keeps the characters separate, even though people understand it's like a split personality kind of deal going on.
Yeah.
Nathan still. He's Bobby Roode. He'll always be TNA for me, which I think is cool. AJ Styles will always be a TNA guy for me too, even though he's been in WWE.
AJ's match is pretty good tonight, but they've had a couple. So here's the issue: that you had AJ versus Cedric, and then you had Natalya versus Lacey Evans, pretty much back to back. And here's the thing: we've seen those like every week right now, so it's just kind of it didn't feel fresh at all. But AJ and Cedric had a pretty good match. They needed the win. Viking Raiders looked good. I think that was the one note I got from that match.
Yeah, I think they're doing the right thing with Viking Raiders. Sorry, I'm muting my phone. I think they're doing the right thing with Viking Raiders, showcasing their athleticism. Because I think if they didn't and they showed them as just a powerhouse team, I think that them and AOP would end up stepping all over each other.
Are we due for a Viking Raiders versus AOP just slugfest as a pay-per-view?
God, throw them in Hell in a Cell and just see what happens. All right, here's a good question for you, Charlie. If we were having an elimination chamber match, current champions not allowed in, which 6 tag teams would you put in?
Oh God. Well, you'd have to do the Usos. I'd do Viking Raiders, the OC. I'd throw in AOP, Heavy Machinery. That's a bunch of big guys. And then
House Party?
No.
You throwing in Hawkins and Ryder?
Probably would be, to be honest.
Damn it.
There's a little no, you'd have to do the New Day. They're not champions anymore. So
that's true. I mean, it could be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, AJ Styles versus Cedric, it was fine. I feel like AJ Styles is one of those deals. He's expected to be so good now that even an average match, people like, Styles. I feel like that's why I saw people crapping on the top one, or what is it, top 500 wrestler list, and Seth Rollins is number 1. They're like, what has he done, man? WWE guy. They can't. It's like, nah, he is the best. He really can't.
He had a great year.
And that's across all the promotions. Actually, I'm going to cycle back around. So Nathan says Bobby Lashley's one lucky man. All I'm going to say on that one. It's going to be awkward for Bobby Lashley to be put in this storyline, right? Do you think
I think they're all professional actors and they know it's the role.
I know, but still, man, if I'm Bobby Lashley, I'm going backstage and being like, dude, I'm so sorry.
He's buying Rusev a beer.
Yeah,
hey man, no, that was fun. I really enjoyed that comeback for Lashley, and you know what? It gets people talking because it wasn't bland. He could have just walked out there, punched Rusev, and called it a night, but he didn't.
Yep.
What did he do? Grabbed his girl, his wife, had a little fun.
Just interesting, man. That's really interesting. So Paul Heyman has a tendency to say this isn't a prediction, it's a spoiler, talking about Brock Lesnar winning matches. And so far to this point, when Paul Heyman says that, Brock Lesnar wins. Does Brock Lesnar win? Not saying, we talked about foregone conclusion, but on Friday, does Brock Lesnar beat Kofi for the title? What's your gut telling you?
No.
Think Kofi wins?
Yep.
And that's how we go off air, or do you think they start the show with it Friday?
I think we go off air with The Fiend attacking The Rock. But
I agree. That's how it should be.
But no, I think Kofi wins. I think they want this title reign of Kofi's to be known as one of the best ones. And he's got to beat Brock Lesnar.
I agree. They have to start with a feel-good story because people are going to know Brock Lesnar that tune in for the first time, but they might not know Kofi Kingston. And so people being like, oh, I know who Brock Lesnar is. He's legit. And then have someone beat him clean builds. It's not like Kofi Kingston needs to become more of a star with the current WWE fans, but he does need to prove himself to casual viewers that are just now coming in.
Yeah. That being said, Brock looks great. If he wins, I'm not mad.
No, me neither. I mean, now Rick just shared this in our Facebook chat. I mean, it was reported yesterday that WWE is interested in signing Cain Velasquez, which people that follow MMA know that Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar have quite a history together. There is money in a Lesnar versus Velasquez WWE match. Now, hopefully that wouldn't be for a title, Charlie, but is that something that you'd be interested in like a WrestleMania? I know you're not too familiar with MMA stuff, but do you think that someone like a Cain Velasquez deserves a spot on the Mania card? Because that's where it would be.
I mean, hey, it might. So about Cain Velasquez, he was at Triple Mania, right? No one knew if he's actually going to be good or whatever.
And he impressed people, right?
People couldn't believe how good he was. And they were like, he's a natural. That being said, if they can pull this off, I'd be awesome. You're right. We don't need it for a title, but this could be a WrestleMania match. That's what you bring him in for.
I think you tell people that you're booking Lesnar versus Kane, and there's this mysterious injury like the day before Mania, and Matt Riddle steps in and beats Lesnar.
There you go.
Oh, God. Anyway, this was a good start. Oh, I should have said this at the beginning. We plan on being live, obviously, tonight, Wednesday and Friday. We'll be live. So Wednesday after the AEW NXT war. Now, I will tell you, Charlie, AEW still has not piqued my interest enough to watch the weekly show.
That's why we got to see this first one, see if it is.
So I'll try to tune in. It's at the same exact time as NXT, right?
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm definitely watching AEW on the big screen. I don't know. Maybe NXT on the computer. Watch them at the same time.
I don't want to have like a giant discussion about AEW NXT, but I think it is genius by WWE to put NXT against it, because even if this wasn't the intent, now everyone sees NXT and AEW as the battle, and NXT is seen as its own entity. So people aren't even seeing it as AEW versus WWE, because even if AEW is seen as the superior show on Wednesdays, it's going to be like, oh, well, it still wouldn't hang up against Monday or Friday.
Yeah.
I think it's genius.
Agreed.
WWE is forcing AEW to go against their C show instead of their A or B show.
And you guys know us, man. Big Brother, Austin from Big Brother 17 is my favorite player that season. He has made a name for himself. And
he made it onto the top 500.
Yeah. This might be the breakout character for them. And I'm not even kidding. His Twitter, I know his Twitter and Instagram, his following has doubled already. It's more than doubled.
He's good, man.
He's there. He's so big and he's so athletic. The sky's the limit. And he's paired up with Jungle Boy, the Jurassic Express. That's the thing I'm most excited about.
All right, last question, Charlie. How's your fantasy team doing?
Well, I'm pretty sure I lost, so 1-3.
That means, yeah, you'll be sitting at 1-3. Flames and Aaron are going to be sitting at 4-0, I think. Rick will be.
Aaron lost to Garrett.
Oh, Aaron lost to Garrett. Nice.
Garrett beat him. So Rick will be 3-1 also.
Yep, Rick will be 3-1. Oh yeah, dude, you and Rick both put up good scores. Oh my God, you would have beaten anyone else in the league other than Rick.
There you go.
It's one of those tough weeks. Meanwhile, I'm gonna win with the third lowest score.
And I had Terry McLaurin on my team and a -1 Packers defense.
Well, that's what you get. That's what you get for waking up at 1:01 p.m.
101. Dude, I checked the night before. There was nothing. The only person questionable was that whoever, Mark Andrews.
All that matters is this trade's gonna go through, and I'm gonna win the whole league.
I hit no. I hit veto.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
You and Ben both.
I'm not letting.
You can't stop this train.
I'm not letting Mike parasite his team. He's 0-4. I see that as tanking for Tua.
Mike's selling out for Wayne Gallman.
Yeah, that's not happening.
And I'm here for it. All right. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you for hanging out. Nathan, Aaron, Icy, everyone else. Share this with some people. I would say that Wednesday will be shorter, but it probably won't be. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, Wednesday's going to be fun.
AEW's first episode, but I'm going to go to bed. Got to get up and teach some kids how to sing in the morning. So make sure to like and subscribe. Almost forgot the outro. And click the bell so you know when we go live. Ding! Until next time, guys. We're out.